Into Newcastle because it's a 2.1 metre high tide, and we're going to have a look at a drift dive from around Nobys Beach back towards the Cowrie Hole. Don't know how windy it is in there at the moment or what it's like, so we'll go and have a squizzy diz and see what we've got to look at. But this morning when I woke up at 4 o'clock, it was pouring rain, and it's now sunny and shiny. So we're going to go in for a deck the halls, a squiz, and we'll be able to get in the water somewhere. If we don't get in at and do a drift dive at Nobys Soldiers Pool, we might get into the Cowrie Hole, and yeah, if it's no good there we might get into Newcastle, and if it's no good there we might get into Bar Beach. But plenty of options, nice day for it. And then when we come back, I'm going to do a live stream, a practice session live stream. So I've got 3 options to choose from. I've got a webcam, this camera that I'm using, the DJI, and then I've got a microphone connected to the computer, a USB, and then I've also got my mobile phone. And between those 3 options, so if I use the DJI, it means I'm just going to run it through the amp and use the standard microphone at home through the guitar amplifier and the audio amplifier. Or do I use the microphones on the DJI Action and then just use it as a webcam? Or do I use the computer's USB microphone in addition with the or do I use the computer's microphone as an audio source in? So I've got to check the delay and see how it lines up, and there's only one way to do it, and that's to do a connection and post it and then look at the outcome. So for the next day today, for all of today, or later on today and tomorrow, apologise for the videos that are going through the place, but there's going to be a couple of live videos, or there should be 3 live videos to try and check which of those options are going to work for us. And then when I do find one that works, I'm going to do a practice session, guitar, sing. I was in a band from about the ages of 17 to 19, something like that, and when I was in the band, I was just the lead singer. Gave it a bit of a go, but wasn't doing anything to it. So I ended up writing one song, and Marty, the lead guitarist, he put the music to it. And then, look, when I left the band, I started becoming interested in the guitar, and Marty taught me a couple of chords, and then I got on YouTube and sort of learned some other chords, and before you know it, I'd written probably about maybe 20 or 30 songs. Half a dozen of them are okay, or maybe a dozen are okay, but half a dozen are like created and finished. And then 2 of them I went into a recording studio and recorded and posted them on Triple J Unearthed. Those songs are called Cupid and D Robinson. If you search for James Bond Triple J Unearthed, you'll find me on the radio. And then I also used to do the pub circuit and go do jam sessions. That was fun. Well, actually, it wasn't that fun. It was like a good process, a learning of confidence of how to play and sing a guitar in front of somebody. You wouldn't believe how it feels standing in front of a crowd of people and just bombing and stopping mid-song and forgetting all the words. That's pretty shit, but those lessons were hard, but it's enabled me to be able to do these practice sessions for you these days. And it's a really good outlet. It's a really good therapy to be able to express not only mentally in word, but also, outlet, a little bit of physical in guitar, and then voice, like to blurt it out. The expression and the feeling of getting it out, like that. It's like 3 different therapy sessions in one. And where we're going today and what I'm doing today is like probably my biggest therapy session, is getting in the ocean and bonding with a fish. Also bond with a wild crow. That's magical. I really don't have enough vocabulary to try and put that into words of how magical that is. That's amazing. I've been slowly feeding a crow, Australian raven for 3 or 4 years, and her trust has grown that when she feels like it, she can come sit on the fence and I'll grab some cashews or some food scraps and I'll go out and I'll hand feed her, and she's grateful and I'm grateful. She's got the most gorgeous eyes you've ever seen in your life. Her neck feathers, this is about as close as I've ever got to her. Her neck feathers feel the softest that I've ever felt on anything anywhere. It's amazing. Softer than silk and anything. And she has a family that she feeds. They all sit up in the tree up above and squawk and carry on, and she takes some food off me, and then she'll go up and you hear her go glug 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 and feed the young ones. It's beautiful to watch. But look, I've got to say that the trust that she's instilled in me and the respect that I have for her, it's probably the most that I've ever had in life. I've tried with wives and partners, but humans are a funny old thing. They got a lot of stuff going on that we don't really adjust for, or we don't really manage very well. Not that we manage ourselves very well, but we are given some pretty good tools. Like if we only listen, that's the secret. And I'm not talking about in relationships. What I'm talking about is that our bodies have got a unique radar or knowing or intuition, or we're pretty switched on, but we don't listen. Your body or our bodies will tell us what we should eat and what we shouldn't eat, and if you don't listen, so sooner or later it'll make you listen, one way or another. Same as what we drink. If we drink alcohol or drink the different types of waters that we drink, if you listen to your body, it'll tell you. If you don't listen, you'll suffer. And then also the people that we're around and the people that we spend our time with, our bodies will tell us whether we should be around these people or not be around these people. And if we'd listen and take a little bit more note, or if we were more aware of the things that our bodies are trying to tell us, and I don't just mean like physical responses, I also mean the energy drain, or the butterflies, or the heart palpitations, or the recovery required, all of the different feelings that you get from being around certain people. You should listen to them. And then it's also what you do as well, like the jobs and careers that we choose. It's a fair to supply the life that we choose to live. It's a fair taxing amount of time and effort that we take out of our lives to create the world that we believe that we should be living in. So if you want to buy a house and a car and a boat, and you want to pay for these things, well, then there's some consequences and choices that you've got to adapt to be able to maintain the idea that that's how you want to live. Funnily enough, it's taken a big bunch of years and a big bunch of heartache and learnings for me to get to a point of where I realised you don't really need those things. The simple pleasures in life are really that. They're pretty simple. All those rest of the things are probably just tools that you use to get or enable those things. And back to our bodies and our warnings or our guides. Do you know, I've had probably a dozen operations over the last couple of years, and I've got one Monday and then one in February. Hopefully that's going to be the last for a while. I didn't listen, and I still have trouble listening to what my body says. So look, I'm no one to preach about it. I'm no one to say that, this is the way or this isn't the way. I have got my own trials and tribulations as much as anybody else, but I am becoming aware of the possibility, and I am becoming aware or awake to the finite of time. I went snorkeling the other day with a mate, and I've had a couple of close calls that I could tell you about that have enabled this feeling, but this was one recent. So we jumped in the water, it all looked good. A rogue swell came up, and I put my head up out of the water looking where he was, and he's been washed up on the rocks. And I thought, the waves are a bit crunchy right here. Maybe we should, move out of the area to somewhere else. And then lo and behold, the swell hit again, and I was turfed up on the rocks. It was a fair wake up because I felt something that I hadn't experienced, not ever while snorkeling, and it was a bit of a scare. Actually, it was a big scare. I run close to dropping my weight belt and raising my arm in the air for some help for some surfers or anyone that was watching. It was just after I'd seen him washed up on the rocks, and I started thinking, this swell is a little bit out of our scope or our ability. And it was at that point I realised that I couldn't catch my breath. I was trying to swim against the current. Bad lesson there, if anyone is aware of that. Don't swim against the current. So I was becoming exhausted, and I could hear a voice in my head saying, just stop, just breathe. Just stop kicking, stop swimming, just breathe. And I tried to do that as hard as I could, but look, that rogue swell, it really had me, and it was making a mess of me, washing over the top of my snorkel at times. And so I stopped kicking, and I stopped panicking, and I tried catching my breath for what seemed like eternity, but it was probably only 10, 20, 30 seconds, something like that. Anyway, I was up on the rocks, and I was on my hands and knees, vomiting up a bit of water. Looked over my mate, he was standing on the beach, and I thought, that's enough snorkeling for today. So I clambered over the rocks, been knocked a bit on the way, a few cuts and bruises. Got back to the beach, and my mate, he sort of brushed it off. He goes, toughen up a bit, all good. It's only a few scratches, we're all right. And thanks very much to him for that, because on the way home, this is the kind of impact that it held on me. On the way home, I sincerely had to think, am I alive, or is this afterlife? I really thought I was dead. It was a big impact, it really was. And then here I am again, headed to a similar spot. Nice sunny morning. So the lesson today is take a little bit more care and don't go jumping in where my abilities are above my, not that can be judged very well. Could be oversharing this morning. Sorry about that, peeps. If you're sensitive to D&Ms, but I'm just showing you the track that I take into where I go for a recovery dunk in the oceans. It's right next to the Newcastle Bars, and the Newcastle Bars are an amazing place. they hold a good aura. And I mean that the community that's there, there's a lot of people there that are just on a really good level, you know. They're a little bit less worried about stuff in life and more in tune with you know, the goodness of the ocean, the magnesium intake and the grounding that the ocean can do for you. And it's usually the older community that are a bit more aware and awake of this. So kudos and tip me hat to you guys, anyone that understands the importance of grounding and that magnesium intake on a regular basis, or as much as possible whenever you can. That's pretty magical. There's a lot of healing that goes on when you get in salt water or the ocean. And I also promote it here and look forward to cold plunges. So wintertime swimming. It's a nice dopamine hit. Never ever tried cocaine in my life. Tried a lot of other drugs, but never cocaine. And they liken it to 2.5 times the. They liken it to cocaine, but the high from cold water plunge lasts for 9 hours instead of 9 minutes with apparently the drug. So they tell me. No idea. Do you know, funnily enough, I think my ex-partner, my ex-fiance just rode past me. G'day to her, hope you're well. We were engaged to be married. Give her a little honk. Yeah, we were engaged to be married a year or two ago. It's probably, how long is it? Maybe a year ago now. And the life we had together was intense, amazing, but pretty full on. And she didn't want to continue the full on life, and I totally understand that. Like, it's not for everybody. You know, these all the videos and stuff that you see of me doing, like, it's not, well, from what I understand, and no two the same, but it's not a kind of pace that everyone wants to run at. And admittedly, I can't run at this pace all the time. I sort of go for so long and then have a big crash and burn, which a lot of people suffer with, and that's heartbreaking. But on the upside is that, yeah, it's a pretty awesome ride. You know, guitar playing, singing, camping, motorbike riding, push bike riding, snorkeling, scuba diving, holidaying, boating, fishing, camping. Oh, camping's going to be coming up soon. I'm looking forward to that. And look, jack of all trades, master of none. You know, I used to build kitchens, do floors. Hate painting, but painting's a pain in the ass. And I'll pay anyone to paint anything for me. I think it's a patience thing. Don't have the patience for painting for some reason. And Newcastle's a pretty good town, you know. It's not too far from the beach. Well, I suppose Newcastle's right on the beach, but I mean, where I live is not too far from the beach. It's a 20-minute run for me to come in here and get into the ocean. And then the opposite direction, you've got camping areas aplenty. The waterways are amazing. can't wait to show you a bit more of Nelson Bay and Port Stephens. That place is beautiful. Might spend some time up there in March, and yeah, look, in March is really when all the kids go back to school and the water's still warm but the weather cools a little. Is my favourite time of year ever. You're going to see a lot of activity. I'm going to head to Nelson Bay. I'm going to snorkel each side of Little Beach. Little Beach to the left is a wharf and jetty that's protected and amazing. Good snorkeling there, a few nice deep dives. And then to the right is a marine sanctuary that holds fish like you've never seen before anywhere. It's beautiful. And I spent some time there as well. And then I've also got a boat that I'm going to do snorkel fishing and snorkeling out of, and that's going to duck out off Newcastle to a place called the Bogey Hole. You see, we're nearly at the beach now. I might, for camera purpose, I usually go straight ahead and sneak down to Newcastle Beach, and then around to Nobys for a look. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the police station and turn down there just so you get a better view for the camera of Newcastle Beach. It just gives me a brief insight of the swell that's out there and the wind prior to calling around to Nobys and Shortland Parade, I think it's called. That's alright. So there's the Newcastle Police Station up here on the right. Haven't they got the view? They have built another command centre at Waratah, but yeah, that's probably the view of views. So this is coming to Newcastle Beach, and the Newcastle bars look absolutely packed at the moment. My God. And it's a very high tide, so let's have a look. There is some good there's some good snorkeling area down there on the Newcastle side, so that's an option. It actually looks really good. Ooh. I wonder if I should just come down here. Oh look, 2.1 metre tide. I'll stick to the plan and I'll go around and have a look at the place I'm thinking of. Yeah, busy. The cafes are busy. Tesla. I'd love a Tesla. But when I say that, you know, I think I love the idea of a Tesla. Would I ever actually have one? Don't know, because it's a bit of a lifestyle adjustment, as in, and I don't just mean a vehicle, I mean charging point, freedom of bush driving. And I don't mean four-wheel drive bush driving, I mean just places where there aren't chargers. So, you know, going camping up the bush and that sort of stuff. Little bit limited. And also probable solar panels on the roof. And look, there's a couple of really big trees on my property that stop solar panels, otherwise I would have done it already. And I don't think I'd get rid of those trees because of the wildlife. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the you know, the parrots and the corellas and the birds that are out the front that I feed on a pretty regular basis, and then plus the gorgeous Sheryl crow that I feed. I call a Sheryl crow, it's a Australian raven, but I call a Sheryl crow. I was calling this bird Russell crow. It's somebody's since alerted me to the fact that it's female Australian raven, not a male. So my bad. I've renamed to Sheryl Crow, and she I don't know how, but she comes when I call, as in like if she's up on the light post, and I say, "Come on, Cheryl, you want something to eat?" and yeah, she'll fly down. She probably just sees my arm actions, my hand actions actually, and not so much that coming from the name of Sheryl Crow. Ooh, beach car park's a bit full. I'll see how we go. I do see a car parked down here on the left. I might pull up and have a quick look, because this is where I was going to look at snorkeling, although it does look a bit munchy here. I'm just going to check the swell here before I go anywhere. Ooh, weed. No. The waves are crashing over the solid floor. I don't think it'll even stop here. No, not here. Waves and weed. We're out of here. Turn that music down so we don't get a copyright strike. Yeah, swell's no good there. Munchy, crunchy. And it would be unwise for me to get in there and attempt to float around. Yeah, it's even worse than when I got washed on the rocks the other day. Yeah, that's a no-go. Looks like... Right. Probably down there. This is the closest park I could get.
You're the only one I desire. I love you forever. You're my everything. I love you forever. You're the song I sing. I love you forever. You're the air I breathe. I love you forever. You're the one for me.
Those dolphins out there, tried swimming with them, missed them. Bugger. Next time.